All right, here we are. Conversations with DJ. I'm not sure what episode it is, but we have the most handsome man in the entire pickleball world, Jay Deviliers.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, how do you pronounce it?
Deviliers.
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 Okay, well, that's French, right? So that's where you're originally from. Okay, do you miss it? Do you go back often?
You know, I do not miss it that much. I do love going there still.
Mm-hmm.
I go there more or less once a year.
Mm-hmm.
This year I was lucky enough to go to the French Open.
Dude, I saw.
Yeah, that was sick. So yeah, I enjoy just seeing the family and everything, and it's nice to be back. But it's also, I'd like to come back here in the States as well. So it's not like I miss it to the point where I want to move back yet.
Yeah, that makes sense. And obviously you have a little, nice little, family back in Kansas too. So obviously you miss them a lot. What a lot of people don't know about you is before pickleball, you used to be like a hitting partner for a lot of those pros, right? So then, do you get to go to the French Open back in the day and be a hitting partner for the pros too?
Not at the French Open. I was not a hitting partner there. I did the hitting partner at the US Open in 2017 and 2018.
Mm-hmm.
But at the French, I did play a few times there as a junior and things like that. So, it was definitely a special experience to go there, to not play tennis, but to promote pickleball there.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how did that come about?
Like the French Tennis Federation just recently made a partnership with pickleball. So basically, they are regrouping all the racket sports together, with paddle, tennis, pickleball, beach tennis, and all of this. So they are implementing pickleball and putting it in all the clubs now. So they were just trying to promote the sport, make sure that everyone knows what is pickleball, and that since January, it's going to be in all the clubs. So,
dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. What are some of the, who do you end up playing pickleball with out there? And what are some of the tennis pros that you met on the trip?
Well, there were a lot actually that just came by. Every day we had about 500 to 3,000 people just trying.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really insane. Like we had 3 courts. The courts were actually not the best quality of courts because it was on top of the clay to protect the clay.
Mm-hmm.
But just a fun experience for them to try it out. And then we were lucky to have Navratilova, the former legend of tennis, that tried it, and it seemed like she had a good time. We had also Tatiana Golovin, that is former number 11 in the world, French player. We had Emily Morismo, the tournament director and former Grand Slam champions. We had the president of the French Federation, which is Gilles Moreton, also a former tennis player. Mansour Barami, I don't know if you know who he is.
The guy that does all the tricks.
Yeah, the guy that is very funny. And and then Émilie Lois tried, another French girl, and few others. But it was just great to see all those tennis players trying it out and having a good time, actually. They were like, oh, this is actually not that bad like I thought it would be. So
yeah, dude, that's the absolute best. And right after you came back, you ended up going to Washington.
Yeah.
Right? So how much practice do you have, right before, playing MLP, just because you were in France? And even though you were playing pickleball, still not the same, caliber and stuff.
100%. And I had zero practice, to be honest with you. I actually sprained my ankle in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like in the process of recovering, and this was 4 weeks before Washington's that it happened. So I had to figure a way how to recover, not overdo practice. And so with my trip to France, everything was kind of messed up a little bit. So when I came to Washington, I was definitely not ready at 100%. Felt better on court, but I knew that my ankle was still restricting me to play like fully. But it was important for me to play that just to get ready for San Clemente and see where I was at, what I have to do. So, right now I'm preparing much better for that tournament than MLP. The owners knew about it too. I didn't put them in a spot, but yeah, I'm just trying to do whatever it takes to come back healthy.
Yeah, for sure. And what actually happened? were you playing and it rolled or somewhere along those lines?
Yeah, it was actually a weird feeling. I was playing against Dylan Frazier. We were having a great match. I won the first game 17-15 in singles. Like it was really insane, intense. And then at 4-0, I roll it, and it didn't seem that bad, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really painful. Like usually I have rolled my ankle several times during my tennis career, and sometimes you tie the shoe and you're fine and you can play. And this time, for some reason, the pain was extreme, and then we found out that it was a high sprain with a level 3, almost level 4. So, they told me you're going to be 6 to 8 weeks out. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to find a way to come back quicker. And I put a lot of work, used a lot of, the aloe MD cream that you have probably have seen, like the beamers. Like I was doing ice bath, sauna, everything to try to reduce. I was like, whatever it takes, we're going to do the best. And I was lucky enough to be able to be back 4 weeks after my injury. And now in San Clemente, it will be 6 weeks. So I should be even closer to fully recovered, but it's still weak. So, I'm going to the beach right now, like on the sand, working out and everything. So trying to put the work.
Yeah, well, hopefully it'll be all good. And dude, that's really unfortunate. I'm really sorry it happened. I actually meant to text you, but I ended up getting really sick. So then I just kind of forgot about everything for a week.
Well, and you have your own injury as well. So you know how it is. Like it's tough to...
It's so tough.
Mentally.
Something hurts when you're like a professional athlete. For those people that believe that we are. And you get depressed for like 3 weeks. You're like, am I ever going to be able to play pickleball again?
Yeah.
It just gets that bad.
It's your job. Like, it's not like you're an amateur and you get hurt. It is what it is. It's annoying. But like here, it's our job. So if we can't come back at the top, like you've started overthinking, I feel like. So
yeah.
As you got to be ready. You got to work hard.
Yeah, because you gotta otherwise you overthink it, right? If you don't do all the preparation, whether it comes to practicing or whether it comes to recovery, when you go on court, it's like, okay, I don't feel good, or I feel like it's gonna start hurting again, or somewhere along those lines. So you really want to make sure that you prepare the best you can.
100%.
Dude, that's it. So now so you're in San Diego right now, hanging out with me a little bit, and you're gonna go to San Clemente pretty soon. You're gonna play the PPA. Who are your partners right there?
I'm playing again with Callie Smith and Patrick Smith. Mm-hmm. So I'm with the Smith family.
2 brothers, right?
Yeah. Brother and sister. One from Germany and one from Utah. But I'm excited. I mean, Patrick has been dealing with injuries as well. Callie has been playing well. So excited to be back and competing on the last PPA of mid-season, kind of, because after that in July we don't have anything. So
are you going to MLP in July?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna play.
There's a couple. There's 2.
There are 2. Yeah. I'm playing those 2, and then we actually have Kansas City as well. So it's basically 1 PPA and 3 PPA in 3 MLPs in a row after that.
Oh, but the Kansas that will be in August.
Yes.
So
yes,
just for July, there's like 1 mid-season tournament, which I don't really. Maybe you can clarify some stuff, because I don't really understand. Like, I know it's a tournament, right? All the teams go and play and whatever, but I don't think it applies for anything in the point system. So what's the point of playing?
Listen, I'm not sure. This actually was my first MLP because our team was not playing in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So basically, we're coming with 1 event, and now we're gonna play a mid-season. So I'm not sure what all the thought process was in it. I just feel like it's gonna be interesting. I feel, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel all the teams are playing against each other too, from Challenger and...
I think so.
Yeah,
but I heard that only the top 4 get paid.
Yes.
So no offense to anybody, because I'm in Challenger myself, but I mean, for my team, for example, which for everybody to know, I might get dropped today. But for my team right now, the chances of like us beating a premier team that's not the Utah Black Diamonds is going to be extremely difficult, So, and if you're only going to pay the top 4, it almost becomes like a little bit, in my opinion, pointless to have all the teams there. I
can't disagree with what you're saying right now. So again, I'm not sure. I feel like they're trying to still figure it out. They're moving in the right direction, it seems like, but again, it's also probably for the fan experience more than anything to put like a winner, and because I feel that's what has changed comparing to last year, is that the previous event at Atlanta and Washington DC, no one is winning, and I don't know if the fan enjoy that as much.
Right.
So maybe the mid-season was all about that, like showing someone that is going to win, show that they can win the mid-season. And then,
Yeah, but even only having 2 events, playing one, and then playing the mid-season is a little bit crazy.
It is.
right?
It is a little bit crazy.
Hopefully next year they'll have it a little bit more figured out. But I mean, I think all of us love MLP, the actual format of it, right? The team atmosphere and everything. So, hopefully it'll get a little bit better. But that said, how do you feel about your team? How's that going? I know the last MLP wasn't as expected.
Yeah. Well, I play with Tyler, so with Tyler it did go pretty well. I felt like we had good chemistry comparing to the previous time we had played together. Then in the women's we have Callie and Alex Strong. That there is also Alex is very young. She's a up and coming player. So I feel like we're lacking a little bit of experience as a team, and me not being 100% as well didn't help the entire team. And I felt like we had some close matches, but yet we were still far in a certain way. Like with this kind of format, you lose 4 points, like 4 stupid unforced errors. They're getting 4, you're losing 4. It's a difference of 8 points like that. And a lot of times we don't realize this, and I feel like that's where we're definitely lacking experience and intelligence at time, like on shot selections and things like that. And I feel for the next event, I felt like we were probably gonna do much better. But again, it's a tournament, so it's gonna be again a different. So
you'll probably do better just because it's a tournament.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think? And this is kind of I mean, I hear both sides of the coin or the story, but do you think Riley scoring to 25 should be played differently, pickleball speaking, than 11 with side out scoring? Because people are like, oh, like I need to like drop everything and I don't want to miss. People are like, well, I'm gonna drive because I don't want to miss the drops. Like, what do you think?
I think it's a fine line to find, because some players are better off using the drive, because again, if their drop ratio is 1 out of 3 or 2 out of 4, if you're just at 50%, you better drive, because you don't want to give 3 points. I don't want to drop names, but I'm gonna have to, because I love James, and when I played with James, you could see he was driving way more than dropping, because he had more confidence on his drive, and I feel like that was the right strategy for him. If it's someone like a Matt Wright that never miss a drop, I think this guy should be dropping every single point. If that makes sense.
So it really depends on what your strengths are. So you're not necessarily changing the way you play just because the scoring
you
is
just
different.
play higher percentage, in my opinion.
Okay.
I see what you're saying. Rely on your strength, isolate your weakness as much as possible. I feel that's why some top players that are very solid naturally in the game to 11 format, like Riley, for instance, like to make a lot of balls and be solid. I think MLP translated pretty well to him right away.
Yeah.
Then for someone that is like James, that is more going aggressive and broke, like if he's having a great day, like on the game to 25, he can crush any team. If he's not having a great day, then slowing down is not maybe something he can rely on.
Yeah.
Ben is this kind of player that can do both.
Yeah.
And you can see how he becomes way more conservative when he needs to on important points. I feel like that's the key, is when you're more complete, you will do better in that kind of format, in my opinion. But if you have a specific game style, and it can be tricky depending on the matchup as well, way more than on a game to 11, where you have more room to change your strategy, more room to implement strength as a team as well. I feel like games to 25 like this, rally scoring, if you're down like 6 points, it's going to be really tough to come back.
It's so difficult.
Yeah.
So difficult, especially right at the end, because you feel the pressure, right? Because I haven't played MLP this year yet, but that said, I played the past couple of years, and if you're down 2-6, even though it's 4 points, it's not the same as you're down like 18, 24.
100%.
Like it's just not the same.
Well, and if you're playing a game to 11 and you're down 6-2, and you get the ball back, you can find your way in and come back. Here, you're gonna get the ball back for sure, but the score can keep stretching, and you're like, okay, 7-3, 8-4, 9-5, 10-6. Like you're just not getting closer sometimes.
Yeah.
And then you're just thinking, oh my gosh, I can come back. And you start overthinking, where in a normal game, you have more time. You can feel like the momentum switching at times. So I feel like that's the biggest difference. And yeah, I feel that's what makes MLP special, but that's also what makes MLP so much tougher.
Yeah, for sure. And what are your thoughts on the freeze?
I felt like, again, I didn't play Atlanta, so Atlanta, they didn't have the freeze, and I was like, that you're going to win if you have a difference of 4 points when you're reaching 24. If it's 24-21, it's a guaranteed win when there is no freeze.
For sure.
In Washington, it's not as much guaranteed anymore. So that's where I feel like it add that extra tension that you have to close it, and you can overthink it. You're at 24-19, for instance, and now you have free side out, you don't score, and now it's 24-22. Now you're stressed more than before you were gonna win. It was inevitable. I felt like.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Dude, talking about injuries, Pat and I text a little bit here and there. We're good friends, right? All three of us are. And dude, he told me that he got hit with a ball in the eye.
Yeah.
And his eye was bleeding or something, or he can't see. Dude, that's insane.
Well, he got hurt as well in Atlanta with me. So we were actually practicing a shot, and I
practicing a shot.
yeah, a specific shot too, and I was hitting that ball at a specific target, and he swung and hit the frame of the paddle, and it came back right to his eye. That was the first time his eye got clogged, and it just swelled, and it was he got blurry vision at the time in Atlanta.
Dude, that would scare me so much.
He did get very scared. I felt like he got lucky in a certain way, because if it would have been few inches away, it could have caught the retina or something. So anyway, I feel like that was a big shock for him. But I didn't see it, but I heard in Sacramento he got hit again in the eye.
Same eye.
I guess so. So
dude.
So basically, apparently.
Why are you laughing?
No, I'm not laughing.
You're laughing. You're a dick.
No. I'm a horrible person. Sorry, Pat. No, I mean, it's just I'm like, what are the odds that you get hit twice? Am I digging the hole right now? No, I just feel like, what is the odds that you get hit again? But I felt really sorry for him. I thought it was still the same injury at first from Atlanta, but it was still bothering him. I didn't hear that you got hit again, but basically, from my understanding, is that he, from the back of his eye, he still has he had some bleeding, the tissues that in your eyes, when you have your red eye around. Yeah. So basically, from the back, that was caused a little bit blurry vision and things like that. So he's making his comeback here with me in San Clemente. So hopefully,
do you think he's gonna wear glasses?
I would love to see that.
I would love to see that.
I feel like He's a big guy, as you know. He likes to show his guns and things like that. With little glasses, that would be a little bit.
They should be pink.
Yeah, I would make a lot of fun of it. I would be using my phone, always taking selfie with him.
Here's my partner.
Hey, I love your glasses.
Dude, that said though, the actual safety for people with these paddles nowadays, and I mean, I talked about paddles every episode basically, but there is definitely a concern out there for how fast the balls are coming at you. People that are trying to basically not even hit the ball in, but hit it out, or try to, hit you on the way that the ball is going out. Yeah. So do you think at some point it would be a good idea to wear glasses? Because I do feel a little bit weird myself wearing glasses.
I know. I tried I would wear glasses, to be honest, if it didn't bother my play. It's actually, for me, it's I don't know, for some reason, my glasses always get foggy. I always misjudge some balls. And I don't want to have an excuse when I'm playing. I'm always trying to limit that. So maybe I would, if I were to do a preseason and trying for a month, getting used to it, maybe I would.
Preseason? We have a preseason?
I tried to create one in December, but it's really hard. As you know, it's complicated. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's important. As you said, the paddle technology is just getting better and better, and I think restrictions are starting to apply. So hopefully that will change. But as of now, it's very dangerous. Especially I felt it in Washington with my mobility being a little bit reduced. I got hits more often than expected. Just trying to duck.
You
balls.
already get hit a lot.
I do get hit a lot.
You're a big target.
I'm a big target, but I was playing against Jack Sock and CJ Klingler, and he hit me twice, like really high, and I was trying to duck, and I was a little bit slow, and I was like, dang, like normally I'm more explosive. I can move a little bit quicker and get out of the way, at least when it's that high. But that's where it got really scary, because again, like with that speed, like we need to find a solution on that.
Yeah,
eventually.
for sure. Do you think hats help the matter? Because I mean, I think a lot of the times, if it's going at your face, it could hit the hat first.
Yeah.
So do you think that helps or not really? Or do you think
I have the headband, so I don't know.
the headband's not going to help you? But that said, we do have off season in December.
Yes.
So it's like a off pre.
Yes.
Okay.
In December, there is just the final tournament.
PPA finals.
Yeah.
In the very beginning.
If you're top 8 in singles, top 8 in mix, and top 16 men's doubles. So again, I mean, yeah, I don't know. The hat, got to try it out, I guess.
Yeah. Backwards hat.
Backward
then
is. Then
it doesn't even matter
it's
anymore.
It's like a headband again.
Dude, what are some of like your best, like what's your like best memory on the pickleball court? And what's your worst?
Ooh, best and worst. Like best memory, I actually have several. Like and it's always when I win, surprisingly.
Of course, yeah.
Unbelievable, right?
What a coincidence.
I actually have a great memory with you when we played in Bobby Riggs, when we won that tournament where we were down like a lot because it was a time you could come back and win it.
Yeah.
You remember we were kind of favorite coming in, and then we lost like second round or something, and
We
then
lost
come back.
bad second round, yeah.
Yeah, and then we came back all the way and double dip in finals. So that was a cool experience.
Yeah.
I have one with Jesse when I won at the time it was a Grand Slam in Vegas. So when we won that PPA tournament, that was huge for us because we had been losing to Ben and Annalise so many times in finals. And this time we were playing Riley and Lindsay. Lindsay was actually pregnant at the time when she made that final. I was so impressed by her, by the way. Yeah, no, she's such an athlete. And then we were down two games to nothing, and it was best of 5, and we won the last 3. So that was a really, really cool experience. I have that tournament when we beat Ben and Colin with Pat in Atlanta. That was like again another breakthrough for us when we had lost so many times to them, and then made to the final there. So I feel like I have so many good memories. Like again, when you win, pickleball is the best thing in the world, I feel like, and when you lose, it's just like, oh my gosh, again,
why am I doing this?
Yeah, why?
Yeah,
why am I traveling so much for this? So yeah,
good paycheck.
Good paycheck, better and better. Like when you look at what we were fighting for a few years ago comparing to now, it's a big difference. But
for sure,
I always say like it's so well deserved for the OGs that have been starting that game so long time ago. The one that are coming in, I'm not mad or anything like this, but it's more like kind of jealous that the fact that they don't have to go through the grind that we were doing.
Yeah, we were grinding hard because at one point we were doing. Well, you played MLP early on, but I was doing like every APP, every PPA, just trying to, make money out of it, right? And dude, it was hard. It was like 1 week in PPA, and it's like on the West Coast, then I go to APP on the East Coast, and I come back. Like, dude, and it's like, oh my God, what is going on?
I remember like my first Triple Crown on an APP, and my paycheck, I can say it was literally $3,000 for winning the 3 events, singles, doubles, and mixed. And the excitement for that was just unreal. You know, I'm like, I just Triple Crown.
Yeah, I'm the man. I'm the man. Let me go get some Burger King.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm like, yeah, but I spent like so much for my trip and everything. And I had my wife actually that came and played that tournament with Eric Lang.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. I was scared because they almost they took Leah Jensen and JW in 3 games.
Was this Cincinnati?
No, that was Bend, Oregon.
Okay.
And
gotcha.
they were in the 3rd game, and I'm like, if she wins that match, I'm playing her, and I gotta lose because if I beat her, we might get a divorce. So I was like so tight. I'm like, the only tournament she's gonna play, she will have to beat me in semis or anyway. But yeah, no. So those times have changed. That's has been definitely better now. But again, I look so much forward to the future and how the sport is gonna keep evolving like that.
Yeah, for sure. What about the worst experience?
Worst experience
outside of your ankle?
Yeah, ankle must be up there just for the fact that last year was tough. Like again with the pedal technology, I mean, you have heard me bitching about it a lot when we played together. Now I was so excited. I was playing finally better and better. So that was really painful. Like, I was playing probably again, like almost at the top level in my single game, I felt like. And playing against Dylan, we were having a great game. So I feel like that was kind of a bummer. Like, when you're starting rising and playing almost close to your best level and then, you're stopped like that, that was really painful. But the worst situation was when I got hooked with Martina Costley against Adam and I believe it was Corinne at the time.
Oh, this is a long time ago.
Yeah, long time ago. And then Ron made a horrible call. And I just remember, like, we lost the match, not finishing the point just by disqualification, kind of.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly what happened, but I just remember that Martina and I were really upset.
Yeah.
Because we had a great tournament. We had beaten Catherine Parento and Steve Deacon, Riley Newman, and Michelle Esquivel were playing together. So we had some great wins coming in, and then we were in the back draw trying to come back for bronze, and we got hooked so bad on a game to 15.
Dude,
and
that's the worst.
And it was umpire mistakes, and I just messed up because I didn't know the rules at the time enough, but I could have called the director. Anyway, that probably is the worst because, when you end up losing a match when you should not have lost necessarily, or you don't know how.
I mean, that happens all the time. I lose all these matches that I should have never lost. Every time I lose, something went wrong anyway. You know, you got not my fault.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Okay, so we go back to that one, but that must have been like 2020 or maybe
2021, something. Yeah, something like that.
Still a while back. Yeah.
But usually it's always referees that make my life horrible.
So difficult. Yeah.
Like we had recently in Atlanta, we had a match, and
I don't think they like you.
No, they don't. They don't. Me and Pat were playing against Greg Dow and Anderson Scarpa, and the situation escalated. I didn't handle the situation the best personally, but again, it was totally because of the unprofessionalism of one of the referees. So I feel like having good ref is really important, and it's getting better now. But this is always what really get me so crazy, is just when something is not fair or you're not treated fairly.
Right.
So yeah.
No, I mean, that makes sense. And I mean, I'm a big believer that refs like try the best they can, right? But they're just put in such a difficult position at all times. You know, even just the angle of, line calls when you're like standing right outside of the court and you're trying to watch the kitchen line, but then you have to make all these like judgment calls on line calls, but like you're not even high up. Yeah. Right. So how can you even see the further? I don't know. It's just kind of crazy. I think a lot of the times, a lot of those calls I think are made like out of just natural reaction. Like, instinct. It was out. Like,
100%.
Like, well, I didn't even ask the question.
I don't know if you remember that match recently between Salome and Annalie when
the ball
on match point.
Yeah.
You know, and no, it was inside, and it was literally. It was inside the outside.
Yeah, like inside the outside line. Yeah. I don't know, dude. There's always like a little something going on. I just think it's so hard for them, right? So
100%.
we all of us try to give them a little break, but when it happens, like
to you,
tournament after,
and when it happens to you, it's much harder to handle emotions at times.
It just makes it difficult.
I agree.
Dude, nice. So so last year we played a bunch together. We did pretty well.
Yeah.
And then I kept playing right side, play some with Zane, and then this year you started playing with Patrick again. Yeah. Which you made. You guys stopped playing. So you guys played 2021, 2022 together?
We played 2020, 2021, 2022 together. We played 3 years together. Then 2023. Actually, no. At 2022, I played with Tyson. So 2022, I played with Tyson. 2023 was with you. Yeah. And then a mix at
just
the end.
6 months in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then what made you want to go back to Pat? How did that happen?
To be fully honest with you, like for me, I was losing a lot of my will to play. And the enjoyment of playing. And I feel like for me, that's when I stopped playing tennis, is when I didn't enjoy what I was doing anymore. Yeah. And I felt this was coming across more and more. Like I said earlier, like, I used to bitch a lot about my paddle. Because the technology got so much better from other companies, and it was just so hard, like, to control emotions on the outcome. And I feel that's what I was looking for, something more that to bring me back, like that joy. How did I start playing pickleball? Why did I start? Like, you're trying to go back to the root a little bit, I feel like. And that was like Pat and I remember all those experience on tournaments, like again, like when we didn't have much money, when we fought for nothing, we're going to those crappy Airbnb, and those stories that I could go on and on. And I was like, maybe we try to do that again and rebuild that relationship that we have, and we're good friends. We live so close to each other. We can practice together. Vulcan came up with that new carbon fiber paddle that changed my play as well, I believe. And all this like brought me back a little bit to life in a certain way. Like, I enjoy what I'm doing, and be happy with what you do. Even in mixed, I made a total change. I was playing with Jesse a lot, then I started playing with Callie. Love playing with Jesse and everything, but you can see from an external eye that the energy was more negative on court, and not like. And I feel like all this made me reconsider everything and say, how about I take a break a little bit from that and go back to what made me happy on a court and positive and everything. So that was how the decision came along, more than partnership, because again, like, I've been blessed in terms of partners. Most of the players I played with, I had always had a great time. Most of them are good friend of mine. So yeah, like, I mean, that was the main decision this year, to say, what, this year 2024, I'm just gonna lock in those two for the entire year, and if we don't do well, we'll switch it up. If we do well, we'll keep playing. Pretty much.
No, that makes a lot of sense for sure. And I mean, when the first time that you guys separated, I thought you guys were like crazy. I was like, why would you separate, right? Like, even if like the results are not there, I think it's just a matter of time when you're putting the work and you're training together, you're practicing, you're good friends, right? And to me, it was just really interesting that you guys split up, and then when you guys got back together, I think like everyone in pickleball was happy.
I think so too. Yeah. We got a lot of messages. Hey, I'm so excited to see you play, guys. And in fact, the first tournament we did was at the Masters.
You beat J-Dub and Dylan.
Yeah, we beat J-Dub and Dylan in quarters, but those guys are making finals every tournament now. And we're coming from them in San Clemente. Very narrow draw. We're going to crush them again, those little guys. But I mean, we were very excited to play together. We made semis. We had a close match against Riley and Thomas at the time. So, I feel like we didn't play that bad. Again, a little bit unfortunate that there were some injuries for Pat here and there. Now for me, but like otherwise, I feel like we're playing good. We have good chemistry together. We enjoy playing with each other. And if we're healthy, we can be dangerous still.
Yeah, I completely agree. If
it's a big if. But, hey, but listen, I'm working on it. I'm working on being as healthy as possible.
Yeah, no, I got you. Do you think J-Dub and Dylan are like the best team in the world right now?
So, I did say that last year. We were having that discussion with Dane Gringish, and I said, like, for me, J-Dub and Dylan are better than Ben and Colin, in my opinion. And he was like, you're absolutely crazy for saying this. And I'm like, no, I don't think I'm crazy. I just feel like they're immature still a little bit, and they get really tight when they play against Ben and Colin. That's why they're losing. But they're actually harder to play against than Ben and Colin. That's what I used to say.
Right.
And now I feel like they have passed that gap where they're not as scared of Ben and Colin.
They also haven't played them.
And exactly, that's what I was going to say. Because Ben and Colin are losing also earlier, they're playing more free, and I feel like all this has a big impact for them. And I feel now that they have more confidence. They're almost going to be first seed every tournament. Like, it's getting so close in points, that change. I feel like also mentally, when you're first seed, you come with a little bit more, you're not as scared. You're like, I'm the top dog now, So I feel like those players need confidence. Like J-Dub and Dylan are those guys that needs to play off like trust. When they trust themselves and each other, they can be really dangerous, and they're hard to play. I mean, you and I played them several times. When they're on, it's really tough to go through them.
When they're on, it's like impossible.
Yeah, because they have great hands. They counter well. They can dink well. They're patient. Again, you have to be as complete as them when you're playing against them, or
For
you have to go through them, which is not the
That's
easiest
like the last thing you want to
yeah,
do.
you
Basically.
kind of like you have to be really unreal on that, or you have to be almost as good as them. So I feel like J-Dub has improved so much from where he started from. Like I remember like playing with him. Actually, the first tournament when I triple crown in Ben was with J-Dub. That was his first APP, I believe, that he won in doubles. And since then, like, his progression is so solid. He doesn't miss much. He doesn't do much, but when he needs to do much, he can do it as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like that makes him really solid. And then Dylan, as you know, Dylan is a very, very good right side player.
Yeah.
Counter well, can attack from the right. Most player on the right tends to be a little bit passive, and he's not doing that. And I think that's why he's so tough to play against. So yeah, for me, they're probably the best team. I prefer to play against Ben and Colin. Obviously, we don't have to say this on the pod, but like they're unbelievable. It's an unbelievable team. But personally, I feel like I have more room to play against Ben and Colin than against J-Dub and Dylan.
No, for sure, and I completely agree with everything that you're saying. And I personally still thought last year that J-Dub and Dylan were like the best team. But when it came down to, because pickleball is also about matchups, right?
Correct.
When it came down to matchup, I just thought, okay, like Ben can play a certain way against this team to where they're not putting themselves in a tough position to where they're not gonna win, right?
Yeah.
But that said, I mean, if you watch. And it has obviously changed, and pickleball happens very fast. But even if you watch everything this year, like J-Dub and Dylan are just like running through people.
Yeah,
like they're
they have no mercy.
Dude, it's like 2-2, 3-3, 4-2. It's like, what is going on? And then like when you watch like Ben's, for example, and I still think Ben's the best player in the world. But when you watch Ben's and Colin's results, it's like, 11-7, 11-9. Like, so even if you're winning, how you win also tells a story.
I agree with that. I agree. Like, it's a statement a little bit. But one thing I would say, Ben is really, really disciplined on his plays. Like, he's very, like, strategic. He plays here to get that. I feel like J-Dub and Dylan don't have that much. They can play a little bit more chaotic at time and get away with it way more than what Ben and Colin would do. And that's why I think that's what makes them better.
Well, they have the best hands. Like as a team, they have the best hands.
I agree.
In PPA and MLP.
Yeah. I agree. And so this is where like I feel like Ben is just very smart. He knows all about every player more than you would be. I feel like a lot of players that you don't necessarily know or focus about, he knows them. I feel like they do their homework very well. They're very good in terms of strategy. I don't know. I'm not sure about J-Dub and Dylan doing that much work on the. They just come with.
Well, Julie does it for them.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. They have a team.
Yeah.
So this is again, those two teams are amazing. And I think it's elevating the game in general because it's forcing everyone else to improve and get better, because when you play against those teams, and you get crushed 4-4, let's say, you just have to get better, and then everyone catch up a little bit. I feel that's a must in a certain way.
Yeah. So who do you think are the top 3 right-sided players right now? Because now we got lefties coming in.
Yeah. No,
dude, Augie is really good. I love Augie. I think he's really good.
I do not like Augie at all.
That's okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, most people don't.
No, I like Augie. I don't like playing against him. You're absolutely right. He's so annoying to play against because of his pattern as a lefty. I've played him several times now, and it's always really challenging to play him.
Yeah.
So I feel like as a lefty, he's probably the most dangerous lefty.
More than Pablo? Dangerous-wise?
Pablo is great as well. I love Pablo. I'm actually going to play a tournament with him. But Augie, what he has is that he's really solid. He can reset well and he can attack.
Yeah.
Pablo has a little bit more holes, I think. And again, he just also because he's more aggressive.
Yeah.
So Augie is not as aggressive, so he's more solid. Pablo is more aggressive, so obviously he's going to give you more a little bit. So Pablo, when he's hot, he's really good. Pablo, when he's not as hot, I think Augie gets it more by stability, but it's
for sure.
That's how I would rank them, kind of.
Give me the top three.
Top three. Top three.
Top three right side players.
Top three right side player. Okay. Well, you have to put Colin. I again, Colin for me is unbelievable at his job. Like, yes, a lot of time you hear he's covering only 20%, 30%. We have all said that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's really good at making you play so good. Again, he does this only mostly with his brother. When he plays with other partner, he's not as good.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like on that matchup, you have to put him top three. If you put him with any other player, I would not put him top three. So this is weird.
That's fair.
But so, but let me think. Dylan has to be in the top three on the right
Dylan
side.
to me is number one. He has to be.
You know, him and Matt. You know, we forget about Matt. Matt on the right side.
Matt's very good.
Because this is where I would say with Matt. Matt will not miss you a drop. He will get you to the kitchen line every time. He will counter well. He will attack as well. He will lob now. He's doing a lot of things. Again.
But you're forgetting one thing that Matt doesn't have. Because Dylan can do all those things very well too.
Matt cannot move? That's where you're going with this?
He can't move as well as Dylan.
Okay.
It's like what happens when Matt gets lobbed?
Well, his partner has to run.
Correct. So that takes a certain partner.
Correct. No, for sure. But like Matt has been also proving, this is where we could have a long conversation on this, but like Matt has been performing with several different partners.
100%. Matt's a beast. And I love Matt. I think he's actually a great dude.
No, I think Matt is probably the best competitor.
Yeah, he is.
You know, like he finds way to win, whether you like the way he behaves, the way like, you know, there are a lot of things I'm not a big fan of Matt, and there are a lot of things I'm a big fan as well. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like must be in that top three with Dylan.
Yeah, then I mean, okay, yeah, that's fair. I mean, I don't know. I would put like Dylan, Matt, and then I would have to throw in like
you,
like an Augie or something like that.
I thought you were gonna say you.
No,
I'm surprised of that.
Well, dude, I haven't been able to play.
Got it. Otherwise, you would be there.
No, not right now. But also, I've been playing left.
Yes.
But last year, when we were playing together, it's hard to argue that us as a team were not, like top 5 or something like that. We're making quarterfinals and semifinals about every single tournament. We got fifths, right? We didn't get thirds.
We did fourth a lot.
Fourth.
We did. I remember we had some close matchup where we could have had a chance to go at the time when Federico and Pablo were not what they are now.
Yeah. When I threw my paddle.
Yes.
Yeah, that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, again, we had some close matches. Again, like, I feel like personally, I was not playing my best at the time as well. It would be a different scenario maybe now.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, like I felt like you were playing pretty well. You were countering very well. On the right side, you were very, very solid. And me on the left side, I was not as solid, but as what I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I think again, it's a lot about chemistry, a lot about the moment being and things like that.
Timing.
Timing is huge. Like that's where again, like I'm so impressed in general by the longevity of Ben always finding ways to evolve and not stagnate.
For sure.
And we all do that, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer.
100%. I mean, we're always kind of like chasing.
Correct.
Yeah. Like at this point, we've been playing for so long. And, there's obviously like new names. Like there's, to some extent, J-Dub, right? Because he came in 2021, I think. But then you have people like Augie, like CJ, that like, well, CJ's been playing for a while.
Jaume as well.
Yeah, but let's say like Augie and Jaume, right? Like they just came into the scene and started doing really good quickly. Where like Federico took him a while, right? Had to play APPs, did well in singles, but that wasn't good. So it was, but you have a lot of some of these people that kind of came into the scene playing really well. But a lot of like the other top 20, 25, maybe even 15 is still the same people as like 3-4 years ago, right?
And this is a cycle, I call it a little bit. Like, you have players that always kind of are there and find ways. Like Callan Dawson is one of them. I feel like he always like his level dropped, then he comes back, then his level dropped, then he comes back. He finds way to stay relevant and play well. And that's the key. That's why he's such an amazing player.
Yeah.
A lot of players, like you said, are coming in on the right, like they're playing well and everything. They don't have any pressure yet. once you have done it for 2-3 years, that's where you really see what they're made of, you know,
For
because, you know, getting to the top is actually easier than
Staying at the top.
than staying.
Yeah.
Yes. Same with Riley. I felt like Riley was underperforming a little bit, and then, you know, last tournament he came back, he took that long break and everything. You didn't know what kind of Riley was gonna show up, and he showed up. He did show up. So I feel like it's everyone. Like, it's how you constantly work with that wave on when you're going a little bit down, how you come back up. Tyson is another example to that. I feel like he was struggling with power a little bit and things like this, and he went to Eula. He always tried to find solution to stay relevant, and I think that's what makes them great player.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's, again, like the new players. Always the thing I always say is, how long are they going to stay that relevant? And that's where, again, like, you see greatness in those players that always find a way to stay at the top. And
Yeah, no, 100% agree. I was going to say one more thing. Oh, yeah, no, so time's coming up, but I wanted to say the last thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is 2 of my favorite pickleball stories have you involved.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did I do? Did I mess up?
No. So one of them, it's obviously I have to go back to World Pickleball Championships when Callan and I played.
Oh no! Oh no! Pat, you messed up, Pat. That was you. That was you.
When Callan and I played you and Pat in the finals, and that was a major at the time.
What a loser!
And dude, it was insane. Like, it was 17-15 for you guys in the first game.
Something like that.
And
then,
I
don't want to remember that.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
And then and the paycheck was good then too. It was like $2,000. And then we won 11-9, 11-9 in the second and third. And then I think it was the very first game, like, I either hooked you guys or something, but it wasn't on purpose. Like, I really thought it was out. And then you guys were so upset with me. And then at the end of the match, I'm like, fuck yeah, I won. Everything's great. And I'm like, hey, just so you know, dude, I'm really sorry. Like, I really thought it was out. So that's like one of my favorite ones. And the other one is actually the one that you mentioned, winning a Bobby Riggs, the APB of Bobby Riggs, because that's where I started playing. And I don't know if you remember, but like basically about 2/3 of the crowd were like people that I either taught lessons or played pickleball with.
Special when it's at your place, at your home.
Exactly.
Like,
Coming back and winning. I remember we lost in the second round.
Oh
like
my
you were
gosh.
saying.
By the way, talking about that match, do you remember how hard you hit Rob Cassidy?
Dude,
that was the most shocking moment in pickleball. If he had a Eula paddle or that volley right here that he has, at that time he might have murdered Rob. Honestly,
it was basically, for the people that don't know, it was a double fake with a third like speed up to the neck, basically.
Right
like,
here.
It wasn't to the face, but I wanted to hit him at the chest. And
but yeah, you clogged him as hard as you could. And I remember Rob spinning around and I was like, are you okay? And he didn't even answer. And he's like, time out. And I was like,
yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
And dude, I don't do that anymore. I don't know why, but anyway, so that was like, you know, one of my favorite stories too with pickleball, where, you know, just winning that tournament was so special. And I remember losing in the second round.
Yeah. To AJ, I think it was.
Yeah, AJ and Dylan.
Yeah.
Which is actually a good team.
Yeah.
And I remember I'm texting Pat, and I'm like, dude, we're not playing well. Like, how do you get Jay going? Like, we're both like, you know, not playing well. He's like, hey, just like a lot of energy. Like, tell him to move his feet. So like, shout out to Pat.
Coach Pat was here saving the day.
Yeah, shout out to Pat for saving the day. But that said, I want to thank my sponsors real quick. Obviously, always a huge thank you to Stack, Hesacor, You Dripping, Valerd, and obviously Head, you know, best shoes in the game. If you want to get yourself something, the code is DJ Young at checkout for a nice little discount. Obviously, I don't say this very often, but please like and subscribe so we can keep the show going. And yeah, Jay, whatever you have else to say.
Yeah, follow that guy. You know, he's a man, great human being. So I don't understand why would you not follow and subscribe to the podcast.
Let's go. Thanks, brother.
You're welcome.